Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Awakening Her podcast. My name is Talia Joy. How are you doing today? Today we are reassuring you that you are on the right path. I promise. So in this episode, we're going to talk about when you're in the process of growth and transformation. If you're asking yourself, like, how do I get on the right path? Am I on the right path? WTF is happening? I don't know what to do. Or even, you're trucking along, making progress, but questioning, am I on the right path? If this is you, then this episode is definitely for you. We're going to touch on the process of transformation. I'm going to touch on the goo phase and how things come up, how we're being refined, how life is showing you what you need, not punishing you. We're going to talk about a lot of things in this episode. I also want to say that the process of transformation and awakening is a profound journey of self-growth, and it's an evolution. It's an unfolding. So the place you're in right now is essential in the process of manifesting your dreams, of transformation, of, evolving into everything that you're meant to be, everything that you have on your heart. This place right here, this time in your life is helping you to clear the way for more happiness, more freedom, more inner peace. You may be in a messy part, you may be in a goo phase, you may be a little unclear, but it is such an important part of the process. I promise you this, and this is what we're diving into today. And before we dive into the episode, I just want you to look back in your mind's eye to see how many times before where you were not clear, where you had no idea why you were in this mess or how you were going to get out of this mess or what was next or what was happening, and how some of those times just completely unexpectedly paved way for something beautiful or paved the way for something beautiful. How these times where, even looking back, my times where I would consider I was the biggest gong show or had no idea what was doing, it was healing that was budding under the surface. It was great change. It was discovering who I am. It was massive things that would break down what wasn't working. But ultimately, I'm glad I went through them. And 100% of the times when I was unclear, when I didn't know, and maybe you can relate to this, we've made it through. 100% of the time you have made it through. So we're talking today about how you definitely are on the right path. There's many layers of what's going on right now, and I'm here to support you through it. So with that, let's dive in. I'm excited. Grab your cucumber water, grab your chamomile, and let's dive in. Hey, beautiful soul. Welcome to the Awakening Her podcast. I am so grateful that you've been led here, and I'm so excited for you that you're answering the call to manifest more magic in your life. My name is Talia Joy, and I am committed to showing you exactly how to manifest more excitement, ease, success, abundance, confidence, love, and anything else you've been craving. So if you're ready to go on a magical journey of spiritual and self-growth to manifest the life you're meant for, we are now besties. Let's dive in. You are on the right path, I promise. The process of transformation and awakening, as I said before, is an evolution. And there are messy bits, there are ups, there are downs. And ultimately, even if you are on a manifestation journey, you're trying to create something specific, you are on a journey of self-growth. That is what you are here for. You are an old soul, or you would not be listening to this podcast. You would not have been attracted to my content at all. You would not be here listening to things about this type of thing if you were not an old soul. You are definitely an old soul. And the place you're in right now is part of, even if you feel like it's the messy middle, it's part of the dismantling what you are not, so you can step into what you are here to become, or what you already are deep down, or what is next for you. So the messy part in the middle shakes loose the old habits, shakes loose the old beliefs that don't serve you anymore. Every single time I get stuck enough, I go F it, and then I become open to something more. In my pain healing journey, I just got tired of the traditional ways of doing things, and I became open to inner child healing, to processing and releasing emotion, to all these different aspects. If something's happening in my life now, I don't shame myself, even if it's something I feel stuck in, and I go, okay, what can I be more open to? What have I not seen yet? What angle can I look at this that I have not yet looked at it? The messy part in the middle, the places where we are unclear, the places where we legit question if we are on the right path, these are the places where we move through twists and turns that begin peeling away the layers of what you thought you were, the false stuff, the stuff that does not serve, the stuff that is not working, so that we can discover that true self underneath, which is also the realization of our own power and manifestations and miracles and all the things. So this time of transformation is a mix. It's a mix of deep introspection, of healing, of lots of personal growth. And ultimately, this wild ride leads you to a place, I promise, of more joy, of more purpose, of more excitement in your life, of less BS, of less shits given, of less draining, dynamics, less triggers, less up and down. It does become easier, but we cannot bypass the transformation. This is where you become truly aligned with who you really are. This is where you become more magnetic for miracles. Okay, so I want to talk about the goo phase, and this is what I'm talking about, but I just want to name it. So when you're not where you were, but you're not yet where you're headed, you're in the goo. So when the caterpillar goes into the chrysalis, before it emerges a butterfly, it turns into complete goo, right? It breaks down into nothingness. It looks like snot. Where there's no digestive system, there's no nervous system, it breaks down completely into goo. It is definitely not what it was, not even a little bit, but it's not yet resembling where it's going. It's not yet a butterfly or even anything close to wings, right? This is in between, where we're nowhere close to being that version, or we feel like we're not physically close to being that version, but we're definitely not where we were. And this is the in-between. This is the goo phase. And it breaks down into mush, the caterpillar does, before being built back up. And this is what happens to us. We turn into gelatinous goo. Sometimes in our life we're goo. Sometimes in our emotions we're goo. In our head we're goo. Sometimes we don't even know, I don't even know what I want. We're just in the in-between, right? As we're talking about. This is so important. This is a dismantling, and it also creates somewhat of a rock bottom. So my team shows me rock bottom is like the center point before the goo becomes before it starts building back up. But the thing about rock bottom is usually rock bottom we say is so bad, right? Or it's like we lost our house and our life and our relationships and our this and our that, before it was our finally hitting rock bottom. And some of us have that, and some of us have had that. But bottom is also just almost like physics, like at the bottom of the curve before you start building yourself back up. That's the goo phase. So it doesn't always have to be dramatic, like rock bottom in your life, but it's that bottom point before we go, F it, I am ready to create something new. So if you're questioning if you're on the right path, if you don't know really what you're doing, you're being dismantled, things like beliefs that are not working for you anymore are starting to come to the surface, maybe things that need healing, maybe you self-sabotage, and one day you're like, okay, why do I do this? Let's get to a deeper level of it so we can free you of it, right? So whatever it is, you're ready to build yourself back up. This is the phase that you're in where you're getting ready to, or you are now ready to be like, F it, I don't want to be in the goo anymore. I am ready to build myself back up. So I want to remind you in this place that you're being refined. And my team always shows me it's exactly like a diamond, right? And before becoming a diamond, you have to be put under a shit ton of pressure for a very long time. Good thing we don't actually have to sit in the earth for thousands of years to become a diamond. But you've asked for this change. Some part of you, your heart, your mind, your vision board, your journal, you've asked for change. You're destined for big things. So here it is. Life doesn't just hand you lemonade, it teaches you how to make it from lemons. So you ask for what you want, and then we get thrown into this messy middle, and it's literally the change you've been asking for. Not that right now you're in that end result, and it's definitely not a punishment, it's a refinement. So you're in a refinement process of becoming your most happy, confident, badass self. And that requires growth, as you know. So it's time to face another level of growth. When we're unsure, when we're unclear, it's that refinement time. What's on the other side of this will blow your mind. What's on the other side of this is so much more ease and freedom and abundance and joy and fulfillment. But we need to peel back the layers of what we are not to discover who we are. Our authentic selves, our core values, what we truly want, our core desires. We've been living and operating in ways that are not conducive to where we're going. So we have to be stripped down into goo. And that's the part is like the caterpillar isn't just like, I'm a caterpillar eating leaves, crawling around, and then bing, one day it has wings. Like that's not how things appear. It's a transformation. It's a refinement. So if you're in the goo right now, or you're in that in-between phase, that's a good sign. And sometimes I have to remind myself of that, and it causes me to chuckle even when I'm in a rock bottom. Because I'm like, well, at least I'm not stuck like where I was. I know we can feel stuck here, but it's like, well, at least I don't know what the heck's happening, but at least I'm not in that space of being in the old dynamic, hating it. At least I'm not there, right? So new insights, new perspectives are on the way, are cracking you open, are planting themselves in you in a good way, not in a creepy way, not like a microchip, but like a plant. The seed has sprouted. New things are sprouting. You're not where you were. Thank goodness, right? Me too. And yeah, you're not yet where you're going, but you are on the right path. You are on the path. So peeling back the layers of what you're not, peeling back the layers of the narratives, of the beliefs, of the perceptions, of the lack of self-worth or self-trust or whatever it was that you were playing out that wasn't working. Congratulations, you're in the middle of self-growth, and it's time to continue on that, realizing you're on the right path, dismantling what you're not, discovering who you are, moving into that next phase. With those new insights, with those new perspectives, with the growth work, you are on a continuous journey of learning and growth. So you are being refined. We practice the practice. We practice showing up for ourselves. We practice showing up for our dreams. We practice being more open-hearted. We practice trust. We practice loving ourselves, right? So it might feel messy, but you are definitely on the right path. And I want to say that life is showing you, not punishing you. Life is not testing you to be mean. It's not, quote unquote, teaching you a lesson as some sort of discipline. It's not that the cosmic cards are stacked against you. And what is not working will become so freaking obvious in this time that you can't ignore it anymore. Looping patterns, things falling away or things you want to fall away that you're like, I need to get out of this dynamic. Fear slapping you in the face, smallness, not enoughness, rearing its ugly head, abandonment issues, running fierce, self-sabotage. These are things showing you what is no longer supportive. That there's something underneath that needs to be seen, healed, integrated in order for you to move forward. It's asking you to peel back the layers of the expectations, of the societal pressures of who people think you are and what you're trying to be for everybody and where you're depleting yourself and where you're not showing up true to who you are. It's asking you to see these things. It's asking you to discover your authentic self, to discover those core values, to discover those core desires. And as you grow through this time, as you view this time with a growth mindset, you gain those new insights and perspectives. And that is what gives you that next level of clarity, that next level of empowerment. As I always say, grow through what you go through so that we don't need to be stuck in it. So part of the key is staying brave and staying open in this time. And embracing I almost said embracing the unknown with an open heart, with curiosity, with intuition, and with an intention to create more joy, more happiness, more alignment, more fulfillment in your life. Being brave in the being open, or being open and being brave about it, however you want to say. Learning that triggers are messages, unwanted patterns are spiritual assignments in disguise. Unwanted patterns are self-growth assignments in disguise. Life is asking you to face the unknown, to move into your dreams and what you really want for yourself, to find your path to discovering your personal power, your personal, what people would say, confidence. Being brave in discovering who you truly are, what is just under the surface of that pattern. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Bravery and courage isn't just the absence of fear, it's the willingness to move through despite it. Anyone who has moved through anything, it's been terrifying. I remind myself all the time, those moments where I want to bolt, where I'm like, nope, this is too much, never mind, retreat back into cave. I remind myself that these are the times when we generically go like, oh, it isn't always easy, but it's worth it. Or I say, I know it's not going to be easy, but I'm going to do this big thing. I remind myself, I go, these are those times. I knew that there were times that weren't going to be easy. This is that time. And even if it's in relationships or healing or even a marriage, or if you're trying to work something out, sometimes it can be hard, but we know that. It doesn't mean we give up on what we're here for. It doesn't mean that we back out. It means we be brave, because these are those moments that you knew on some level would be tough, that you'd need to get through, that you build resilience as you move through. So this might be one of those times. Bravery isn't the absence of fear. It's the willingness to move forward despite the fear. Allowing yourself to feel vulnerable and uncertain and take a risk. Allowing yourself to leap, trusting the net will appear. Trusting that each step you take is leading you toward a more authentic, fulfilling life. So I also want to say before we start to wrap up that this time, this am I on the right path, the goo phase, I don't totally know what I'm doing, it's also asking you to let go. So there's a saying, let go and let God. And there's this message through that of when we let go, we are open to possibilities. We let life fill in the blanks. And sometimes we need to let go of what is not working to support yourself in moving forward. Letting go of old habits, dynamics, even beliefs about yourself. Like, oh, I can't do this. Oh, I'm not strong enough to do that. That's healing work. But also, let's try believing in yourself. What if you loved yourself to the top? How can we let go of the dynamics, even if it's your own mind, that is hard on yourself, that is shaming you, that is not working for you anymore? Relationships that don't align. It doesn't mean kicking people out of your life. It means gently releasing, letting go and letting God. There are times with people, dynamics where we go, you know what? I'm just going to let it go. And if it comes back, it's meant to be. If it resurfaces, but I'm just going to let life handle this one, because I'm not going to grip on and try to hold on anymore. By choosing to be brave, you empower yourself to grow, to heal, to transform into the person that you were always meant to be, the person you see in your mind's eye. It's who you truly are. This is the you that is magnetic to miracles. And I want you to think about the caterpillar, and maybe they don't have an ego, so maybe they have a blessing that they're not trying to hold on to everything that they were, but they had to let go of everything to morph and change into the butterfly. The eyes aren't the same, the digestive system's not the same, the skin, the colors, even their diet changes. They had to let go of everything they thought they were. So what are you holding on to? Is it the identities you've held about what you think you're capable of and not? Is it your diet? Is it the people around you, the dynamics, the habits? And we don't have to let all of it go at once. It's about looking at it and going, is this supportive for where I'm going? This is what's happening right now. The goo is a rearranging, a cosmic rearranging of priorities. It's asking you to step into more of you, step into your authentic visions. If you need to heal, it's calling you to heal. Nothing is a impenetrable wall that you can't get through. It's just about self-growth and self-discovery. And this is the time, my love. If you feel called to, hire someone to help you or do something proactive, if there's a certain workbook or a certain course or a certain mentor, coach, or therapist that you're feeling called to help you to heal through these things, that's a great sign. That's a good thing. Take the leap. And you can also ask yourself, what keeps coming up? What patterns are looping that I can't seem to get out of? Write them down and then asking yourself from your heart, what could this be showing me? What could this be asking me to heal? Is this asking me to love myself more? Is this asking me to, believe in myself more? Because there is an answer. Your dreams are not cosmically held in front of you like a carrot on the end of a stick. I promise you. It's just asking you to grow through what you go through. So a couple questions you can ask yourself as I wrap up this episode. What are you being called into? What are you being called to let go of? What things, dynamics, aspects of life aren't supporting where you're going? What quote unquote old stuff are you ready to release? What do you want to genuinely spend your time doing? What do you enjoy? What makes you feel peaceful? What are you being called to make space for in your life? What is most important to you right now? What limits have you believed about yourself that you just want to let go of? How do these limits impact your life and your choices? And what are you willing to do to move through this? How are you being called to be brave? Okay, I am rooting you on, friend. You have got this. If you feel called to work together, you can check the link below for my brand new 2-month soul-led mentorship. I'd be excited to support you one-on-one. Otherwise, keep doing your work, friend. I am sending you so much love, and I will see you in the next episode.